So you don't have to agree with everything someone says, like when you're in a conversation and they say something wrong. Having good social skills doesn't mean being a people pleaser. You just have to know when and how to correct someone if you're going to do it. You stay away from correcting someone if your correction would be missing the point or derailing the conversation. Like, I'll give you an example. I had a college roommate that was a know-it-all and loved to correct me. And one time we were talking about like New York City or something like that. And I said something like, oh my God, yeah, there's like 100,000 people here. And then she's like, no, it's more than that. It's actually like 10 to the fourth. Now here's my thing. We weren't talking about the population of New York. We were talking about something different, but I happened to mention that in the conversation. That's one. Number two, here's the thing. People exaggerate in conversation. I'm a New Yorker. I would know that there's way more than 100,000 people here. I just blurted out a number, like when people say a gajillion or something like that. So her stopping to correct me in that case came across as condescending because it wasn't relevant. So it felt like she was just trying to school me and purposely missing the point of what I said. So if it has nothing to do with the point, let it go. Same thing for like if someone mispronounces a word or someone made a grammar mistake or it's obvious that someone misspoke, just let it go. But if they're saying something wrong and it is centered around the point of the conversation, you can gently correct them. Here are a couple ways you can do it. Let's say you guys are talking about some sort of new health information and somebody says something that's incorrect. You can say, I've read that such and such and such and such and such, and then you correct them that way. If they're saying something factually incorrect and it's something that you've experienced, you can say, I've personally seen XYZ, or in my experience, XYZ and D. Or if someone comes to you who obviously has this information on something, like, let's say they say, you can go swimming for 2 weeks after you get your septum pierced. And you know that that's not true. The healing period's at least 6 months. You could say something like, did you know you could actually get an infection from doing that? Or you can say something like, it turns out you could actually get an infection from doing that. The key is its tone and delivery. In all those examples I gave, I didn't shut the person down. I didn't take on a lecturing tone. I didn't start acting like I'm teaching them or schooling them. The tone you kind of want to strike is you can see why they think XYZ, but it's actually not XYZ. But you don't want to, of course, say that outright. You don't want to say, I see why you think this, but, because that can come across as condescending. But the point is you're empathizing with them and you're showing that you're on their side. The vibe you're giving is, it's cool, literally anyone could have made that mistake, but it turns out it's actually this, and that. You want to think sharing, not teaching, because this is one of those things where it's not what you say, it's how you say it.